right, today we're going to talk about injury anxiety and specifically how it relates to injuries, chronic pain, and the injury recovery journey as a whole.
Did we reinforce the takeoff ramp? No, we didn't have time. Cool.
So it's that buzzing feeling, that restlessness, can't turn your brain off feeling, and it's really with a more concrete definition. Anxiety is the emotional characterization of feelings of worry, fear, and unease, and these are often accompanied by physical symptoms like increased heart rate, sweating.
Are you okay? Because you're sweating pretty profusely.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
As well as worry and rumination about the future. And that fear and unease are certainly part of the injury recovery journey, and it's one of the least talked about aspects of injury recovery. So we'll touch on that, and more importantly, we'll touch on ways to cope with it. So we'll quickly touch on what is injury anxiety and why it happens. And so when your body is hurt, your brain really goes into overdrive about thoughts about the future. So things like, will this ever get better? Am I doing too much or not enough? What if I re-injure it again? And really this is your nervous system trying to protect you at all costs, and it tends to go into overdrive when doing so. But it can stay on high alert and actually slow down your healing if it continually does it. And so we know that anxiety really raises cortisol, which increases inflammation and pain sensitivity. It also can mess with your sleep routines, your motivation, as well as, most importantly, it's mentally exhausting.
Look, I appreciate your enthusiasm. I know you guys are trying to help, but the truth of the matter is, I've had a hell of a day, an even worse month, and the fact is, I got 40 strangers out in my living room, and all I want to do is get some fucking sleep.
So we'll look at 5 different techniques that actually can help reduce injury anxiety and break down a few simple science-backed ways to really tackle that aspect and help you regain control. So the first tip is really just to try and name it. So if you can name it, you can tame it, as they say. So if you're feeling anxious, you could say something like, I'm afraid of this setback means I'll never reach full strength again. But if you say it or write it down, this actually helps to activate the logical part of your brain and dial down the emotional storm.
Ron, where are you?
I'm in a glass case of emotion! We also have a separate video that you can check out right here that talks about the 3 major mental battles of injury recovery that go a little bit more in depth to cognitive diffusion, thought separation, and a few other tools to really help break down those few mental battles that are hidden pain. The second major tool is really breathing techniques. So there's a lot of variations of breathing techniques to try within mindfulness or meditation, but one that's great is the 4-7-8, known as relaxing breathing. So this technique really helps you to regulate the nervous system, as well as is good for anxiety, sleep, and just general relaxation.
Welcome to your relaxation time. Like this wonderful 80s classic soothe you. Just a nice, warm, happy time. Happy, happy, happy. Ha 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 ha.
So how to do it: inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. You can repeat this for 4 cycles or until you feel a little bit of that relaxation come on, or however many you feel comfortable with. So the long exhales really help to lower the heart rate, as well as really emphasize and trigger that parasympathetic nervous system that helps your body shift down into more of a rest and digest mode. Another great breathing technique to try is the Andrew Huberman, the neuroscientist, double inhale, exhale breath, which is where you take 2 deep inhales. You take a deep breath through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and then you take a second inhale just a little bit, sneaking a little more in at the top of the inhale, and then slowly exhaling. This can be a really effective, really fast breathing exercise to kind of reset that nervous system. And the third technique to really try is to shift focus or shift that perspective. So injury anxiety really makes you obsessed with what's wrong, so you can try and flip that script and look at what's going right.
Hello?
Peter, what's going on?
Huh?
It's 3:30. Why aren't you at work?
Because I didn't feel like it.
So you could say your left leg's not 100%, but at least your core is getting stronger and your back feels good. Something along those lines can help you reduce the spiraling and remind you that you're still making progress in various ways. Number 4, and looking at another technique to kind of help with that injury anxiety and calming that nervous system, is to really set micro goals. So you don't look at it as a mountain, you look at it 1 step at a time. So you could say, my goal is to complete 1 full PT session, or try out some new exercises without fear, or looking at the increased range of motion you have after surgery. Just small wins can help build that confidence and reduce anxiety over the bigger picture and reduce the weight of the overall injury.
9:15, let's have a great day, everybody.
Cut the shit!
And the fifth major technique that we've discussed in other videos as well, but is trying to connect with others in similar situations. So you can talk to other people who understand it or have maybe gone through what you're going through. So that's a recovery community, an online forum, even just a local community or a local gym, obviously a physical therapist or a friend that has maybe gone through it. This connection really helps to kind of calm the nervous system, and knowing that you're not the only one feeling this way can provide a lot of peace of mind, and it's very powerful. Another tip that was helpful for me was to try and cut down on the doom scrolling a little bit. If you're constantly looking up worst case scenarios or constantly on forums, there's a lot of scary stories on there, probably not helping your mental state. Obviously, there's some great information on these forums, but there's also a lot of worst case scenarios.
Vaporized? The body can vaporize?
Oh, yeah, absolutely so.
So take those with a grain of salt, set a timer or set some boundaries when you're doing that sort of research, but try and take a step back from it for your mental release. So another tip is to you can replace some of that scrolling time with music, guided breathing, or other various tools in your toolbox. Some of the things that we've looked at, and we did a video here, is about getting out in nature. That's a very underrated tool when it comes to healing. You can also check our other video that talks about the benefits of music and sound therapy, but just cutting down on that doom scrolling or looking at worst case scenarios is always a benefit for your mental health. And to try some of those other tools that might work for you and calm your mind. So in summary, injury recovery is hard, obviously hard enough without your brain running wild. So anxiety is normal, but it doesn't have to run the show. There are tools, and with practice, your mind and body can both get stronger and help deal with that anxiety and those ruminating thoughts. So if there's anything that's helped you in your journey, please throw in the comments things that have maybe helped you or might help others moving forward. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.